Hello friends! Body shapes and lines are inextricably linked with the style of other BMW models. Despite the years, the car still looks fresh and modern. You can only complain about unpainted plastic bumpers which, after restyling in 2006, finally found a body color. The BMW X3 E83 is technically closely related to the BMW 3 Series E46. However, the crossover is more spacious and allows a family of four to go on a trip without any problems. The wheelbase impresses with its size, 2,800 millimeters. It would seem that inside should be very spacious, but it is not so. It's all about the layout. The engine is located longitudinally, so a large wheelbase is a necessary measure. But there is enough space in the cabin. Those who decide to buy a car with a gasoline engine usually have nothing to fear. Yes, there are problems with ignition coils, valve filters, and the Valvetronic system, but they are rare. 2.5 N52B25 is prone to increased oil consumption, and the base 2-liter unit can upset with its dynamic characteristics. Therefore, the best option is an engine with a working volume of 3.0 liters, which guarantees good dynamics and reliability. However, you will have to put up with high fuel consumption. Thrifty can use the services of services offering the installation of equipment for working on liquefied gas. Thanks to the distributed fuel injection, the engine adequately perceives such refinement. The situation with diesel units is not so rosy. Rejections are quite common. In vehicles with high mileage, the fuel injectors and the crankshaft damper pulley fail. Some trouble is caused by soot accumulated in the particulate filter. In addition, there are cases of destruction of the tin exhaust manifold, which would be better replaced with a cast iron one. The 2-liter M47 turbo diesel develops 150 horsepower and not without flaws. These include flaps in the intake manifold. There is a risk of destruction and getting into the engine, stretching of the timing chain, malfunctions of the injection system, and wear of the crankshaft pulley. Despite this, the engine has earned a good reputation due to its mechanical strength and low cost of repair. If you decide to purchase a diesel X3, then the 3.0D with 204 horsepower will be the best choice. It provides good dynamics and at the same time is quite economical. Its stronger version is also trustworthy, but possible repairs will be more expensive. It is not recommended to mess with diesel crossovers of the first years of production. Cases of cracking of the unit block have been recorded. One of the most common malfunctions is the failure of the crankshaft damper pulley. It is worth noting that this engine used piezo injectors, which are much more expensive than electromagnetic ones. Since 2004, virtually every X3 3.0D has been equipped with a particulate filter. A 2-liter N47 diesel has been offered since 2007. The engine is distinguished by an expensive-to-repair injection system with piezo injectors, a problematic electronically controlled turbocharger, and most importantly, a vulnerable timing chain drive located on the gearbox side. Replacing the chain is expensive, as it involves dismantling the motor. There have been cases of gear wear on the camshaft and even a broken timing chain. However, units are also known that have passed over 300,000 kilometers without serious problems. The basis of longevity is good service. Remember that buying any diesel is a risk. The BMW X3 E83 was offered with both manual and automatic transmissions. Mechanics demonstrated reliability only when paired with 2-liter gasoline and diesel units. Working with more powerful engines that developed high torque, the box could not withstand the aggressive driving style. Soon the clutch and dual-mass flywheel inevitably wore out. Automatic transmissions are quite durable, but you need to be careful with General Motors 5-range products, which went to cars with gasoline 2.5 to 3.0 liters. Among the typical defects, it should be noted acceleration delays at the moment of starting from a standstill. Any twitches, prolonged shifts or skips, slip, indicate a malfunction of the automatic transmission. As a rule, characteristic malfunctions of the machine begin to appear after 200,000 kilometers. 6-speed automatic transmissions developed by ZF, 6HP19, 6HP21, 6HP26, and 6HP28 are considered more durable. Usually, they need to repair no earlier than 250,000 kilometers. BMW X3 in all versions was offered with an improved X-Drive all-wheel drive system. The X-Drive label itself appeared only in 2008. The system works by distributing torque along the axles through an electronically controlled multi-plate clutch. In normal modes, the thrust is distributed in a ratio of 40-60 in favor of the rear wheels. Electronic traction control takes care of wheel traction in difficult conditions. It is worth emphasizing that the BMW X3 E83 is not an SUV, but just a crossover, so don't be surprised if it gets stuck in a little mud or snowdrift. The all-wheel drive system is quite stable. In any case, it is more durable than in the larger X5, but it is very far from Quattro reliability. The weak point is the ATS 400 transfer case, which sometimes fails after the first 100 kilometers. Often it is possible to get off only by replacing the servo gear. A faulty servo drive can pull the rest of the transfer case parts with it. The oil in the transfer case should be changed every 40,000 kilometers. Ask the seller when he last changed the oil. If he is surprised by the question, then repair will soon await you. Before buying, you need to pay attention to oil leaks from the transmission. In particular, you should look at the gearbox, axle shafts, and differential. During the test run, there should be no banging, clicking under the driver's seat, or the effect of locking the front wheels when making a sharp turn. During acceleration, there should be no jerking or howling, and during deceleration, chirping. The presence of problems will be prompted by messages on the dashboard that appear while driving. When choosing X3, you should pay attention to one more thing: whether the tires on the axles are the same. The different size causes the system to be in constant readiness, as if the car is moving in a slight slip. This accelerates wear and brings the moment of failure closer. Only vehicles with the M package can have tires of different widths on the front and rear axles, but they must have the same diameter. The crosses of the cardan shafts and the outboard bearing of the rear cardan wear out to 200 to 250,000 kilometers. Next, the elastic coupling of the cardan shaft gets tired. The front and rear suspension of the X3 is quite complex in design. On the front axle, stabilizer struts are periodically rented out, and in the long term, shock absorbers, ball bearings, and silent blocks. Original parts are 2 times more expensive, but they also go much longer. On the rear axle, in addition to shock absorbers and silent blocks, springs sometimes break. During dynamic driving, due to the active braking of slipping wheels, the wear rate of the brake pads increases. Steering from time to time attracts attention after 200 to 250,000 kilometers. The power steering pump may make noise, or the steering rack will have to be repaired. Factory wheel bearings reach 200 to 300,000 kilometers. They change separately from the hubs. When inspecting a used BMW X3 E83, it is imperative to check the tightness of the cooling system, pipes, radiator, and expansion tank. Having decided on the X3 with a manual transmission, you should be prepared to replace the clutch and dual mass flywheel. Weaknesses include short battery life, and due to the oxidation of contacts, sometimes there are interruptions in the work of electricians. The paintwork of the body is very high quality and tolerates the influence of time well. There are no problems with either corrosion or varnish. Corrosion on the surface of the body indicates repair after an accident. Small traces of rust can only be found on individual suspension elements. After 200 to 300,000 kilometers, the plastic sleeve of the right wiper wears out, and it begins to cling to the hood. The bushing is assembled with a trapezoid, but it can be made of metal to order. After 200 to 250,000 kilometers, the stove motor often starts to make noise. There are problems with the rear lights, third brake light, number plate light, and the driver's power window control unit. After 250 to 300,000 kilometers, generator repair cannot be avoided. If you know of other model malfunctions, be sure to write about it.